Hello, I am an addict named Bill. Thanks for continuing the study, Traditions for Groups. This study is Tradition 3. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. Tradition 3 calls the group to create an atmosphere of recovery. We are responsible to ensure that meetings offer hope to any addict. Addicts seek help in many places. What sets NA apart from many others is the power of one addict freely helping another. When we recognize the pain in another addict's eyes, we make an effort to reach out. Membership is the right of any addict with a desire to stop using, but there is no reason someone would know that when they get here. It's up to us to explain what NA is, what it means to be a member, and how NA has helped us. In order to explain those things, we need to understand them ourselves. NA literature, including for the newcomer, and an introduction to NA meetings can help us put our experience into words. It is worth a group's time to consider what information is important and how to share it clearly and consistently. The principles are the same throughout Narcotics Anonymous, but each community and each group has distinct ways of doing things. That variety reflects our autonomy and creativity. Groups may explain basics in their announcements. Sometimes lists of suggestions are read or printed on meeting schedules. Some groups make it a priority to ensure that the newcomer receives literature or phone numbers. Some groups ask members to raise their hands if they are willing to sponsor. There is no one right way, and each group seeks its own solutions. Creating community includes building bridges and establishing and maintaining boundaries. Our third tradition tells us that we do have a requirement for membership. We must have a desire to stop using. Still, it's not for anyone else to say whether we qualify. Our desire to ensure that everything is just right can sometimes lead us to the letter rather than the spirit of our traditions. Every addict should be able to feel safe and welcome at every NA meeting. That is the atmosphere of recovery our traditions foster and protect. Tradition 3 reminds us of that spirit, the warm welcome, respect, and empathy that make NA feel like home. Care for the newcomer is a sacred trust. No matter what is going on in our own lives, sharing with a suffering addict is an opportunity to get outside ourselves. Empathy creates identification and offers gratitude and perspective. One of the deepest challenges for groups is to remain open to all and still create a safe, hospitable atmosphere. Group unity and a powerful sense of community can protect us from the challenges that come with open membership. A strong NA message, clear boundaries, a loving higher power, and unity can protect us from ourselves and from many ills of the societies around us. We do our best to safeguard those who are vulnerable without making others feel unwelcome. Some people come to NA to do harm, sell drugs, or engage in other destructive activity. Groups may struggle with predatory, exploitative, inappropriate, or violent behavior. There are times when action is necessary to protect members from danger, but when problems are resolved without crisis or disrespect. NA demonstrates its difference from the places we came from. Finding peaceful ways to help all addicts to recover in dignity carries a powerful message. We gain little by ignoring difficulties, and stand to lose much if we avoid the challenges we face. The group can seek solutions before reacting and creating more problems. Just like in our own lives, we can't solve a problem until we identify our part. The service pamphlet Disruptive and Violent Behavior, the PR Handbook, and members who have been through similar challenges can help us protect the group and all of its members. Groups can't refuse an addict membership, but sometimes our actions or attitudes push people out. A member shared, "When our marriage broke up, I resented anyone who was nice to my ex. I said I wanted the best for her. I prayed for her sometimes. But then I would stalk social media and get mad at my friends who were still friends with her. This kind of drama can be dismissed as foolishness. But when our actions are inconsistent with our principles, it affects the group as well as our personal recovery. Making space for each other to recover can sometimes challenge us, but the rewards are great for all involved. We practice these principles because they are essential to our freedom from active addiction. The simple respect we show when we allow an addict to recover in dignity, even if we find them attractive or have history with them, may be a spiritual gift beyond measure. But please, stop. You do not have to step 13, all the newcomers in the room's people. Sometimes physical barriers can get in the way of a welcoming atmosphere. We may not notice the accessibility of our meeting space, for example, until an addict with additional needs tries to attend. Our informational pamphlet Accessibility for those with additional needs offers guidance on how to ensure that all addicts can make their way into meetings and find a message of hope. We follow the guidance of tradition. 3. Considering whether our meetings are welcoming to all addicts in our community. Seeing addicts at different ages and clean times, from different communities, cultures, faiths, and backgrounds, tells each of us that there is room in NA for all of us. Sometimes groups have to work a little harder to ensure that a newcomer who doesn't seem to fit in can feel welcome. One newcomer shared, "When I walked into my first meeting, there was no one there who looked like me, but the group welcomed me and encouraged me to stay. I made sure to stay so that the next newcomer who looked like me would feel like they could stay too." It may be useful to have a conversation about how the group can be more inclusive, but sometimes the question of who's missing from our meetings is one we can't easily answer ourselves. We can assess how welcoming we are if we pay attention to whether newcomers come back. When we make a decision to join a home group, we might not know that we are about to fall in love. Still, much of the time, that's what happens. We take pride in our group and are glad to see people recover in the atmosphere we help create. We come to love our group, the members in it, and the place we meet. Our willingness to act in a spirit of unity and service opens the door for all addicts who care to join us. Here are the group inventory questions for this section. The questions to follow offer ways to begin or continue group inventory or discussion focused on this tradition. 1. What does an atmosphere of recovery feel like? Why is it so important that we generate an atmosphere of recovery? 2. How do we carry a message that is both clear and welcoming? How can we help newcomers understand our message? 3. How can our group communicate what it means to be a member? How do we support those who have yet to make their decision about membership? 4. Who is missing from our meetings? Is there something our group can do to better provide a welcoming atmosphere? Is our group accessible for those members with additional needs? 5. What is the relationship between welcoming and anonymity? Does our group welcome some addicts better than others? 6. Do we make judgments or assumptions about who will hear a message and who won't? How do those judgments get in the way of practicing tradition? 3. Without reservations. 7. How can we ensure that our group is a safe place? What can a group do about predatory behavior? How do we address situations where a member's presence threatens other members? 8. How can we apply the third tradition when challenged by disruptive members? What should we do about disruptive or offensive behavior? How does our group respond to members who share in ways that make other members uncomfortable? Can a group put additional requirements on membership? What is the difference between group membership and membership in NA as a whole? 11. Do members of our group have strong social bonds with each other? Do those bonds make the meeting feel inviting or intimidating? How can we help others feel included? 12. How does this tradition help us understand anonymity? How does anonymity help us understand this tradition? How do we practice anonymity in terms of this tradition? 13. Discuss any bridges between this tradition and other traditions. What do these bridges teach us about our group? 14. What more can we do to bring the principles of this tradition into our group efforts? What could we do differently to better fulfill our primary purpose? Tradition 3 emphasizes that the only requirement for membership in Narcotics Anonymous, NA, is a genuine desire to stop using. It fosters an atmosphere of recovery, where belonging and support are crucial for newcomers. Each group, while sharing core principles, expresses individuality in welcoming and assisting members, ensuring their meetings are inclusive and safe. By cultivating understanding and empathy, groups can confidently address challenges like disruptive behavior while maintaining the spirit of unity. The importance of accessibility, anonymous support, and respectful interactions underscores the need for harmony and protection within the group. Ultimately, Tradition 3 embodies the essence of community healing, focusing on mutual care and encouraging each addict's journey toward recovery. Keep coming back. This program works.